Hello, how's it going? It's me, Amanda Gold. I'm a life coach and an artist, and you might know me from some other videos that I've posted. I haven't been in here in a while, and I wanted to give you an update on some of the noisy neighbor stuff because the struggle is real, it's not going away, and people are still letting me know that they are challenged by noises and neighbors and fucking ruckuses. And I still have stuff to say and teach about that. And so I want to help you because it used to make my life a living hell and torture when I lived in apartments with noisy neighbors and didn't know how to handle it. And you are in the right place if you're aggravated by things going on around you, whether it's like neighbors in an attached place or things that happen outside of your apartment, noises and things where you feel like you're out of control. Um, I would really encourage you to go back and check out the other videos if this bothers you, because what a lot of typical content around this is about is it's either like call the fucking cops or get revenge. I don't do that here because that doesn't work. It doesn't help. And it's not always the most elegant or appreciated solution for you and or everyone involved. So I'm here to actually help you get to the root of what it is, which is like what I think you really want is to feel at peace no matter what the fuck is going on around you. And so today's video is going to be shorter. And I really wanted to address this myth that we tell ourselves that is like, if these neighbors would just move out, or if I could save up enough money to buy a house, then I'd be okay. Then this would get better. And I kind of hate to, but I'm going to bust that bubble for you. And it will serve you to let that myth go. Because right now, if you think that's the only way out, like buy a house, if you live in an apartment, and you can't afford it, or you don't have the means, or you're in a lease, or whatever the reasons, then you feel trapped, right? Feeling trapped is a big piece of why you feel terrible. It's the thought that I'm trapped. And it comes from this myth that, like, if I could only just get over there, then I'd be okay. So I'm speaking from experience here, both from clients who have reported, like, I moved and it didn't fucking help. And I have done it too. So I used to live in an apartment filled with like drug addicts and violence and all kinds of crazy shenanigans. I'm talking about my next door neighbor beating the shit out of someone with a baseball bat over a meth deal gone bad at midnight. I'm talking about a fucking disgruntled ex-girlfriend smashing the windshield out of a car in the parking lot downstairs at 4 a.m. These are situations, by the way, where it might be beneficial or protective to notify some authorities or to really make an earnest effort to get the fuck out of that situation, right? I used to live in that apartment because I used to be an addict. And then when I got sober, I was like, oh, hi, I can't live here anymore. I cannot be here anymore. So I did the work it took to get out, right? So, anyways, I thought surely if I move into like a nicer neighborhood and in a higher like income bracket or whatever, then I'll be okay. No, I moved into a nicer apartment, and turns out people who pay more rent and live in nicer apartments can also buy louder sound systems and have more parties and do more shit with their lives. So I moved into an apartment, took all my thoughts and feelings with me about noise, and then had a nicer place, but still noisy neighbors. I had a guy who tended bar and came home at like 3 or 4 in the morning with a bunch of people and turned on his fucking bass and music and partied for a couple hours every morning and did not give a fuck about it. I had frat boy bros living below me who had keggers and football parties all the time, complete with loud music. And I also had like another kind of druggy roommate situation down there where they were screaming at dogs and screaming at their girlfriends and having loud sex with their girlfriends and then screaming at them again. And I could hear everything and it was a shit show. And so then I thought, okay, well, this was a nicer apartment, but it's still an apartment. And so if I owned, then I'd be okay, right? Luckily, I practiced everything I preach here and managed to find peace in that apartment. And then I did fall in love with my fiance, and I moved out of the city into a quieter town, into a home that he owns. It's a condo, but his neighbors are older. They own theirs. They're very quiet. It's on a golf course. You'd think, oh, perfection, right? I have news for you. It's a whole different scene. It's a whole different kind of ruckus. We are on a golf course. So when the weather's nice, from fucking sunrise to sunset, it's golf bros. It's a string of them coming through, not all of them, but most of them drinking beer, yelling misogynistic, homophobic things at each other. I don't know what it is about that crowd, but they love saying like sexist, homophobic shit. It's so bizarre. And I'm on my balcony and I can hear them, right? And they have golf carts and they're playing music and they're yelling at people across the way and they're talking about the dogs and like it's a fucking scene. And then there's a whole bunch of people doing work on the yard. There's leaf blowers, there's lawnmowers, there's fucking little bobcats moving piles of snow from one side of the parking lot to the other. There's kids, there's dogs, there's neighbors walking their dogs and pausing to talk about their dogs right in front of my window. So, fortunately for me, again, I will say I learned how to manage my mind and my emotions and my nervous system because it doesn't fucking matter where you go. There's always going to be something. Even if you could find a place that was more remote and there just weren't people around you, there are still jets, there are still animals, there will still be a crow. And if you don't deal with this, I promise there will be some asshole that decides to move in virtually in your backyard because that's how this shit goes. It's different places, different faces. And unless we heal what's going on inside of us, we can move and run and fight as much as we want. And it's going to keep recreating itself in our reality. So today I was laughing about this and prompted to do this update because there was some guys downstairs with these like little shovel scraper things, and their mission was to scrape all the ice off of the driveway. And it was loud and it was annoying. And I was thinking about this thought, is a sound ever actually annoying? No, that's not true. Sounds are actually neutral. They're vibrations in the air, and it's our thinking about them that makes them annoying or pleasant. Now, there are things that are loud, like as a circumstance, the decibel, we can measure that they're loud and therefore may be painful or abrasive. But this one of the reasons that you are likely suffering if you have noisy neighbors is because you're having a lot of thoughts about that's annoying, I can't deal with that, that's unacceptable. And so I was thinking about like, what if I had one of those booths that said, no sound is actually annoying, change my mind? And I imagined someone saying, well, an alarm is annoying, like a piercing loud alarm is annoying. And I was like, well, I know that's not true because there's a similar kind of sound in my mind, which is like a baby screaming. And there are parents who are like drinking wine and talking while their baby's screaming at a restaurant. I've been to those restaurants, I've seen those parents. They don't give a fuck because they've tuned it out and because they have thoughts about the sound that's coming from their baby, which they love, and it can do no wrong. And they don't think it's a problem. They don't think it's bothering anyone, right? It's their thinking about it. Conversely, you could have, I don't know if it's conversely, alternatively, you could also have an actual car alarm going off. One person's not even going to hear it because they're talking to someone or busy with something else. Another person is like, well, I live in the city. That's part of the deal. They're like, are just neutral about it. Maybe they don't love it, but they're not like offended by it. Another person could be like, that sounds like mine. I wonder if my car is getting broken into. And they're like worried and run out and check on it, but they're not annoyed, right? They're like, oh, I should check it out. And another person might feel care and compassion, like, I hope their car is okay, right? So it's always just our thoughts that we're having about it. Um, then I was thinking about like, how would you have to think to make this sound not if you're being annoyed by your thoughts, what would you think to create a feeling that was better than annoyed? How could you think about the sound to feel a positive emotion or neutral, right? And this is a really good exercise to practice if you don't even know. Some people don't have access yet. It's a skill that you develop to cultivate the awareness of what am I thinking that's creating this irritation or this panic, right? If you can't figure out what you're thinking, and even if you could, you can't change it, practice just playing with this idea of what could I think instead? Just for fun, just entertain it. It's a perspective shift, right? So I'm looking out the window and I'm looking at these guys, and I had gone from feeling annoyed to playing this game with myself. And I was like, you know what? I've done work like that and it sucks. I have done grunt work, manual labor, and I'm just like, I just felt like some kind of compassion and appreciation for them. And then I felt appreciation for the place where we lived. We pay dues every month for a homeowners association that employs people to come do that kind of work so that we don't have to do it. And I was like, oh, that's nice. I'm grateful for that. I'm glad I don't have to be down there fucking hammering away at the ice. And then I thought, it's sunny out, all the snow's almost gone. This last bit of ice is just in the shade. It just needs their help. But spring is coming. It's March. I'm in Colorado. This could be one of our last snows, probably not our last, but one of the last. And spring is coming. And then I started to feel a sense of optimism and hope. And this was all inspired and still while that noise was going on, inspired by that guy and with the noise going on. Another thought that we lose sight of when we're really triggered or emotional or activated by this sort of experience, we forget that it will pass, right? So, what causes a lot of stress for folks is when they have, and this is what's happened with me, is thinking it's always going to be like this. Again, with that thought, I'm trapped. I can't afford anything better. I'll never get out of here. They're always going to be like this. If it's not them, it's someone else, right? So trusting that it will pass. And even when I had neighbors that like fairly consistently listened to loud music or had parties, there were still moments when they shut the fuck up and had to nurse a hangover or were sleeping. And I had to learn how to, first of all, trust that the noise would pass and then appreciate the times. Because what I see a lot of my clients and what I used to do is even when it was quiet, I'd be like dreading and anticipating the next round of noise, right? So that creates a lot more stress in the body. So really make sure you're paying attention to what are you making the noise mean? Play that game of shifting your perspective. You don't have to think this isn't like positive affirmations. This isn't like trying to make yourself feel better, although it kind of is, right? You want to help yourself out through this. And so treating it like a game and treating it like I'm just going to try on a set of new thoughts that might serve me here, that might help me feel better. Play with those. And then if you are struggling with like a mental health issue as it relates to this, if this is post traumatic stress, if this is triggering like old trauma, if it's connected to that, seek help and mental health support if that's what you need. And also um, check out my other videos on this topic because I address some of that as well. I also really want to encourage you to email me with any questions or if you want more videos like this or on a certain topic. So if you find a specific thought that's causing you pain, like I'll always be stuck here, I feel trapped, I used to have it this way and now it's like this. Any kind of thought that you are struggling with, share it in the email and I will make a video about it. I promise. I also want to invite you into checking out one-on-one coaching with me if this stuff is resonating. If you feel like, God, I really fucking struggle with this and I'd really love a way out, I want to tell you there is a way to feel better quickly, exactly where you are. And I can teach you tools that will help you manage your mind and your emotions and your nervous system so that you can live anywhere, be anywhere, have anything going on around you, and feel unfuckwithable. It's a superpower, and I can teach it to you. I have done it for myself, and it's amazing. So if you're interested in that, you can book a free consult with me, which is a 1 hour Zoom call where you just tell me everything. Tell me what the fuck is going on with you. How are you feeling? What hurts? And then we talk about where you want to go. So as I said in the beginning of the video, buying a house ain't going to help you. But if you have the dream, if you have the wish, if you want to own a home, that's doable. And it's a lot easier to do from a place of peace and acceptance where you are now versus trying to get into a house from a place of stress and fear and aggravation and anxiety. So, nothing, not knocking dreams to buy homes, but we just want to do it from a powerful place and it will actually help you do it more quickly if you're coming from your love and your joy, and I can help with that. So if you think you're interested in coaching, hit me up, book a free consultation. I will post the link in the comments and or the description. I think I'll put the email in the description and the link in the comments. Get yourself on my calendar. I would love to meet you. I would love to talk with you. And what's cool about the consultation is even if you're a no, even if you're like, nah, coaching's not for me, this isn't a fit, whatever, it is still transformational to take that action, to get some help, to see what's out there, to talk about everything with someone who's only listening to you and only focused on you and wants what you want, what's best for you, right? I don't know what's best for you. You know that, but I can help you get closer even if we don't end up working together. So I really want to encourage you, if you're interested, to book that call. Watch my other videos if you're new to my channel. And I'm wishing you all the peace and well-being and serenity in your home, no matter what's going on. And please reach out if you need any support at all. Have a great day. Bye.